Hey guys, I want to see if this thing works in landscape. It didn't give me the option to do it, but I'm going to try it out real quick to see if it does work or not. Does this work? I'm testing it on my phone. Shoot me a thumbs up if it works. Nope, it doesn't. All right. Then this is where it is going to stay. How's everyone doing? Hey Kate. Hey Gamze. Nice to see you guys. Hi Fabrizio. Is everyone here that's logged in from Romania? Because I know we did a lot of the promotion for this event or for this live was because of the event that's coming up, the 9th Transylvania Salsa Festival this weekend in Cluj, which I've never been to, so I'm excited about that. London, of course. How's the weather in London? Miserable? As always. Always rainy. Fabrizio, are you gonna come to the event? Hola, Eugenio. Nice to see you here. Sweet. Eugenio, are you gonna be making it from Barcelona all the way to Romania this weekend? I'm not sure where, whenever. Oh, that's too bad. Hi, Megsham. You will film me. Oh, awesome. Will you give me the videos too? Because that's always the issue. I'm like, every time someone records a video, they post it, and I'm like, oh, I want a memory too. And hey, Megsham, in Mumbai, I will. There's another event, obviously next year in Kolkata. Hitesh is doing that one, so maybe I will see you there. I'm asking you now, Fabricio. All right, so just so you guys know, if you see me looking down here everywhere, there's my laptop ended up having some issues with the camera, so I'm streaming on my phone, my beautiful Android, and then I'm also checking my chats over here. Yeah. So, obviously, this is going to be my first time to Cluj. Fabrizio, are you from Cluj or another place in Romania? Hi, Daria. Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is one, I'm super excited about coming to this event. Hi, Dragos. Mainly because I've heard so many beautiful things about this city, Cluj. I've been to Bucharest. I've been to some place that has volcanoes or something. Don't quote me on that. It had like muddy volcanoes. God, I can't remember what the name of that thing is. Anyways, I've been to that place. I've been to Romania. I've been to Timisoara and a couple of other cities over there. But everyone's always told me that Cluj is one of the most beautiful cities in Romania. So I'm super, super excited to be there. Hi, Melinda. I am excited to be there too. Hi, Gretchen. Ah, Lavinia, you actually asked me something on Instagram. Is that correct? Was that your question? Unless there was another Lavinia. Well, That was you. Okay, so there were a couple of questions that I got in advance, so let me just kind of attend to them a little bit. But feel free to send your questions through the chat. And worst case, if I don't get to you in the chat today, just leave them in the comments and leave them in the chat, and I will do my best to get back to you in a future live Q&A, or if it's a really important question, I will try and make a video or write an article for you guys to answer that. Okay, so by all means. And Bailarte, they have finally arrived, the actual organizers of the festival. So if you have any questions for the organizers of the festival, they are now in the chat. So anything like technical details, like what time does the party start, I actually don't have those answers. Usually when people ask me about events, they're like, oh yeah, what time is this and what time is that? I'm like, honestly, I have no idea. I only figure that stuff out when I actually get there. Oh, in San Diego, wow. We got people from all over the place now. It's exciting. All right, so Lavinia had asked me a question about when I had started dancing. Nonstop party, yeah, I believe that. When I had started dancing. So I hate answering this question nowadays only because every year it's more and more, and I realize how old I am and how long I've been around. But I started dancing back in 2000 in Canada, in Toronto. That's where I started. And my dancing was actually inspired by seeing this really old movie called Dance With Me with Vanessa Williams and Cheyenne. Super old movie. And the dancing is, if I watch it now, the dancing is like very slow motion, nothing fancy or crazy about it at all. But when I had first seen it, I was obviously enamored by it, thinking like they were very fancy. So that's what inspired me to get started. And then I started dancing in Toronto. And now I've been living in the US in New York, New Jersey. My friends who are in chat who know I live technically in New Jersey will probably call me out for that. But it's New York. I'm pretty much an extension of New York, of Manhattan, as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, I've been here now for about 12 years. So most of my dancing was in Canada, my starting at least. I hope that answers that question, Lavinia. And the other thing that you had asked was about my role models in dance. So when I had the clubs and stuff, I would see all these amazing dancers out there. And I remember seeing this one girl, Natalie, and she used to spin like a top. She came from a ballet background. And when I first saw her, I was like, wow, you know, that's amazing. I wished I could spin like that. Of course, I would do one or two spins and kind of lose my balance and hold on for dear life type of thing. And then I kept on dancing. And so my role models, it's kind of weird, or perhaps a little bit of a different answer than what most people expect. Usually when people are asked, like, who are your role models, they can refer to somebody specific and say, you know, I am trying to improve my dancing based on what I see in this person's dance. Or I am trying to dance a little bit more like this or whatever. So my role models actually were my partners. And the reason they were my partners was because given the nature of the dance being a social dance and being an improvised dance, I wanted to make sure I could dance with everybody. That was always my goal. Like when I first started, there was a guy, the person who taught me my very first basic steps, which I'm going to show you here. Instead of the, you know, crossbody lead, forward and back, it was more of the like Cuban step, 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 kick, step, step, step. And I swear to God, that is how high I used to kick. Freaking love those kicks. So after a couple of lessons with him, I asked him, where is there to actually go out and social dance? And we went to a club, and then that was the end of my lessons, learning this kicky step. Went to the clubs, and then that was it. I was hooked on the dance and just going out as often as possible. But I would still end up dancing with him most of the time, almost the entire night. And on rare occasion, I danced with somebody else. And then somebody had asked me to dance, led me through pretty much the same moves that this guy, who I always dance with, was leading me through. And I couldn't follow him. And he said, you know, I'm doing the same thing that guy does, but you're just too used to him. And it was that moment, and that was very, very soon into my dancing. It was that moment that I realized that if I want to be good at social dancing, I need to dance with as many different people as possible and not get into a routine and not get into a, a habit of expecting and anticipating what's going to come next. So my role model is not so much of a person as it is of the dance. Like the nature of the dance is my role model. I want to try and be as good as I can be at the nature of the dance, which is a social dance, which is an improvised dance, which is all about connection and creating on the dance floor, exploring your own potential, encouraging someone else to get there as well, and then seeing what you can create with somebody together. I, that's a that's a really long answer. Did that answer your question, Lavinia? Did that answer anybody else's question? If you were ever thinking that, shoot me something in the chat, a thumbs up or a smiley face or anything like that. Or you guys are just very mesmerized and focused and taking notes. So what else do we have? What other things would you guys like to know? Ooh. What else would you guys like to know for this coming weekend? Is there any questions you guys have about how to get through a weekend? I feel like most of the people that go to events these days have attended quite a few. So you either enjoy going and burning out or you know how to pace yourself. I don't know. Where does everyone stand? How many people are going to an event for the first time this weekend? Oh, by that date. Good question. Why do I think people consider me one of the best instructors in the world? And what makes the difference? That's pretty good. You guys are going for the hard stuff instead of the what's your favorite food? What's your favorite color? All right. So, best instructor is, of course, subjective. I think it often depends on what the student actually got out of the lesson and out of the interaction. But I do appreciate the compliment. I'm glad that that's my reputation out there. I do work at it. And if anything, I would say that it comes from my motivation for teaching. Of course, this is what I do for work. So I do travel to teach, and that's how I make my money, and this is how I pay my bills and all that stuff. So there's obviously a financial element to it. However, once all of that stuff is arranged, like it is for this weekend, once it's arranged that I'm going to be here and this is what I'm teaching, then it's all about my students. Because for me, it's not so much about me getting through an hour and talking or showing you how good I am at doing something. It is 100% about how can I get you further after that hour than you were before. Like, what can I do to help elevate your dancing, elevate your mentality, change your mindset, help you feel like this dance is more fun, that you can be more connected, that there's room for growth. There's infinite room for growth, which I still feel after all these years in this community, in this community, but that that every stage of that growth is also something that you can reward yourself for. And I think that's another problem that tends to happen is people take classes with the intention of obviously growing and learning. Sometimes the classes are so jam-packed with so much information that, yeah, you feel like you accomplished something by attending the workshop because, yeah, maybe you stuck it out to the end. But when you leave, it's so much information that there was really nothing that actually really stayed with you. And because it didn't stay, there's this kind of very temporary feeling, excuse me, temporary feeling of accomplishment. So in my classes, my workshops, my private lessons, any moment I have that involves conveying information, conveying knowledge, and transmitting that is always focused on making sure that you can take at least one thing away that's permanent. And what I mean by permanent is it's generally a mindset. It's not a move because our moves change. All my moves have changed. You know, my moves have changed year to year in my dancing. But what hasn't changed is my mindset. My mindset is about staying connected with somebody. So those kind of elements, I try to make that the focus. And I feel like students that attend my workshops or my privates always leave with a feeling that it doesn't matter how fancy your patterns are. It doesn't matter how many counts of shines that you know, or how much styling you can do, or even how musical you are. It doesn't even matter. What matters is the connection that you have with somebody. And based on pursuing that connection, you actually end up being better at all of the other things. So does that, I hope that answers your question. Do tell me if it does, or if I missed something, or if there's something else you'd like to clarify. Let me see, who else? Hazal. Hazal, can I ask, based on your last name, are you from Turkey? It's one of my favorite places. I mean, most people know that Turkey's, I don't know, I feel like I'm an honorary Turk. All right, so the question I got is any suggestions for a dancer who is struggling with an injury? You broke your shoulder 2 months ago, besides the actual pain, obviously the pain of not being able to dance. This is a fantastic question. And thank you for bringing up, thank you for asking, because I've been there myself. I sprained my ankle in 2007. 2007. Yeah, see, the years just start to blend into themselves. I can't even remember how long. So 2007, I sprained my ankle, and I didn't take care of it. I kept on dancing. The pain kind of worsened, and people didn't realize, right? Because I didn't stop to kind of take care of myself. People were feeling completely at liberty to ask me to dance despite me saying, I'm injured. Then I broke my toe, and that was much, much worse. And it took me 3 years with these injuries to kind of just take a break. Like, dance will always be, this is, okay, this one's really important. Whoever is watching, please take note, and please take heed to this. Dance will always be there. Actually, there's so many things in your life that you might enjoy doing. That could be a sport, that could be some type of hobby. All of those things are going to exist, even if you take a break. But your body is a finite element, entity. So if you do not take care of your body, it doesn't matter how long those things last in this world, in your lifetime, you will not be able to enjoy them. So it's really, really, really important. And it took me 3 years and 3 injuries to realize this the hard way. But it's really important to take care of your body. And I know that pain of not being able to dance because that's what ended up happening to me when I went to a lot of the events. I was injured, but I would hear the music, I would see my friends, and I just couldn't stop myself. And I would dance again, and I kept on exacerbating, making the injury much worse. So, Hazal, I would say if you are injured, just take a break. Find something else to do that doesn't involve engaging your shoulder so that you can fully recover. And then when you come back to the dance, you're in it 100%. And I hope that way you also find kind of a new love for it, which is what I did. I found a new love for the dance, and I found a new love for myself. And that's kind of the way I approach dancing now is if I'm tired, if I don't feel like it, if something hurts, if it's even like a small little pinch of a muscle or something like that, I take a break because I need this body, especially as I'm getting older. It's kind of already trying to fade on me. I hope that helps. All right, so a couple other questions. Eugenio, You asked, I met too many people who are too obsessed in exactly reproducing a certain style instead of enjoying themselves when dancing. What do I think about this? Um, Great question, and I think you know exactly what I think about it based on all of the dance videos that I've posted out there that are out there of me dancing. Um, Salsa to me is a mix, and actually, every dance to me is about evolution. Anything that comes to creativity is about evolving. It's not really about nailing it down a certain way. I mean, if you think about any process in life, including businesses that have a certain way of doing things, there's always the idea there's room for improvement, that whatever you thought was efficient or a certain way to do something 10 years ago might not be that way. And the only way for you to actually push forward is to accept that change is imminent. Um, Change is the only constant, and that ideally, if you want to push your own limits, you've got to be willing to be open to change and be open to seeing what else can be created. So I'm okay with people sticking to a certain way, because those people sticking to things in a certain way also allows me to see how many different ways I can do it. So everything has its place, right? It's kind of like a company, I guess, right? There's a company that you have your creators, you have people who are trying to figure things out and how to do things differently, and you also have your janitors who do like menial tasks. Like every person in this industry, whether they are a stickler for no, this is tradition and this is how it has to be done, or if they are, well, you know, I kind of like the tradition, but I like to add something a little bit more, or there's someone like me who's like, I set my own tradition. I'm going to create my own rules and my own form of dance, if that's what you have to call it. We are all necessary for this community to exist. We are all necessary for this community to be a big picture, a whole picture, and a complete picture. I hope that answers your question. All right, Hazal, I'm glad that helps, and yes, I wish you a speedy recovery. Dragos, how do you make the most of the workshops from an event? From a student's point of view, I'm asking because there's a lot of information in a short time span, and there's also the fatigue. Excellent question. And pacing yourself, you're welcome, Eugenio. Pacing yourself is key to appreciating and enjoying life. At the end of the day, if you are super exhausted, what is the point of even getting up and going to a workshop, right? Because you're not going to get the information in the best way possible. So for students that are attending workshops, my advice to you would be um, you have to also take every workshop. Like you don't have to physically take workshops throughout. You could also sit and listen. And I think it's important for us to have a goal with when it comes to workshops. So it's not like you go to an event, you're like, okay, you know what, I'm going to take every workshop at this event. Why? Does every workshop relate to what you're trying to work on in that moment? So if you were, say, for example, working on shines, right? If that's something that you wanted to improve, say you've got turn patterns, you're a good lead, you're a good follow, and you want to work on your footwork, then focus, take that event and make that event about improving your footwork. So take the workshops that are about shines, that are about your basic step, that are about some body movement or something like that. So try to cater the learning to your goals. But obviously, to cater the learning to your goals, you've got to have goals first. And I think that's another problem that tends to happen is we we think that just taking classes is going to get us closer to where we want to be as a good dancer. And the truth is that you need a slightly more specific focus to get closer to your goals. And again, there's nothing that says if you focus on footwork for this weekend that you're just going to be a shines freak, right? There's nothing that says that. You can change that every weekend. You can work on something different every weekend. But the key is to make sure that you have some sort of goal that can focus your attention and focus your effort and focus your energy for a weekend. So I would recommend for this weekend, especially for everyone who is on this chat, that your focus is on body movement and musicality on Saturday at 12:30, musicality and connection on Saturday at 4:30, and lead and follow fundamentals on Sunday. I know that's a shameless plug for this weekend. But yeah, when it comes to your workshops, to how you take classes at an event, at a workshop, at a congress, because it is tiring even for myself. Try to pick something that you want to work on and learn from as many different people. Or the other option is find someone whose teaching style that you really like, and maybe just take whatever classes they have. Pick one or two instructors like that and take whatever classes they have, so that you can see how they approach all the different elements of dance from their philosophy, from their mentality, right? Does that help, Dragos? I hope you don't burn out this weekend. And I hope you make it to every workshop of mine. All right, a couple of the questions. Ahmed, first of all, I love that you're always an inspiration to a lot of people. Secondly, if a person doesn't have much time to dance due to working conditions, how can a person practice? Um, Excellent question and a very beautiful sentiment. Thank you. My love goes over to you in Egypt and everyone else in Egypt. And I want to go back to Egypt too. If a person doesn't have much time to dance due to working conditions, um, you know, it's about priorities. At the end of the day, our life is going to fall in line with what we prioritize. So you have to be able to make dance something that you pursue almost like you pursue work, and that's how you get better, that's how you practice. And not everything has to be of equal priority, of course. If you've got family, if you've got a job, if you've got pets, I don't know, whatever, right? If you've got a house to maintain and things like that, yeah, those are bigger priorities. Those will probably take up a bigger percentage of your time and your attention. But if dance is really important to you, you have to schedule time for it. Anything that is important to you in your life, you have to schedule time for it. If you don't schedule time for it, there's no way to guarantee that it's ever going to take place, that you're ever going to make any progress with it. So with dance, if you are stuck with your schedule and you're unable to like make sufficient time for it, or you feel like it's not sufficient, then what you want to do is maybe have better practice sessions. So instead of going out and dancing, uh, at like say there's 5 weekends, 5 nights, and there's an event every night of the week, and there's one night that's a really good night with a lot of good dancers and good music, but the nights that it would be easier for you are kind of like the nights where people go just to drink and no one's a real dancer. Well, see how you can rearrange your schedule to go out on the night that actually has good dancers and good music, so that when you are out there practicing, the time you have to dedicate to this passion of yours, that you can make it the best time spent. Okay. Also, we got like 2 more questions, and then I'm gonna have to wrap up because there are a lot of other things to do, and I've got to pack for this trip. I hate packing, because my luggage, if most of you know, is like a very tiny piece of luggage. It's about that big, literally, and I refuse to check my bag, and I refuse to take a bigger piece of luggage than that. So it is a challenge to get everything that I want into that small piece of luggage. But I'm going to answer these last 2 questions from Arturo. Would you would you rather go blind or deaf as a dancer? The context of the question is I just watched A Star Is Born a few days ago, and it's something that came to mind. I haven't seen that movie. I would like to see it. That is that's a tough question. Would I rather go blind or deaf? I would say probably blind. let the gods or whatever in the universe do not take that request literally. I don't want to go blind. But if I had to choose, I'd probably say blind, only because music and sound has always had such a profound impact on me. Yes, the visuals of things are also great. I love seeing beauty. I love seeing a sunset or a sunrise, but the sounds are kind of what have always stuck with me the most. So if I had a choice, I would choose neither. But if it absolutely had to happen, I probably choose blind. Also, I think it would greatly enhance my skills in my hands and my contact and touch. Which, if you guys think I'm a good follow and a good lead right now, if I was blind, I'd probably be even better. Okay, last question is from Han. Han, where are you from? Are you in Romania as well? Am I saying your name correctly? I hope. I would be the daredevil. I'm already the daredevil, Arturo. Okay, so last question for today's chat. You think, what is the most important with beginners in salsa? I'm new and I'm so confused about what I should focus on. That's a tough question because there are so many different ways to approach this dance, no matter what level you're at. As a beginner, I would say try not to focus on getting a million moves. A lot of classes will kind of give you that. Instead, try and take your basic moves, try and find five, just five. A crossbody lead with an inside turn, a hammerlock, or something simple. And find a person that you can practice with, if that's possible, who you can have, obviously someone to dance with in a social party, but also someone you can meet with regularly and practice with, and try and perfect those moves. And then once you've gotten those moves perfect, try and create your own variation of the move. So instead of like learning a certain turn pattern of 10 counts of first a right turn, then a hammerlock, then all of this stuff, take your basic moves: inside turn, outside turn, crossbody lead, over and under, and see what combinations you can create. And the reason I say that is because if you work from some simple basics and create the combinations yourself, because at the end of the day, turn patterns that everyone teaches is a combination of a bunch of the fundamental moves. If you can create it yourself, you will not only remember it perfectly because you made it, but two, you will also understand how things work together. And that's really the important part with this dance is how do things work together. You don't want to get into this habit of it works like this in this sequence all the time. You want to get into this idea that, ooh, this could work, but so could this jump, and so could going backwards. And you want to create that, you want to find that and explore that yourself. And so the best way to do that is to start with some fundamentals and stick it out, focus on them, perfect them, and then play with them yourself. And then take some classes, of course, and see what you can do there. All right, guys, I wanted to say really quickly, thank you so much for showing up today. There's quite a bunch of you here. I can't see everyone's name because my stupid laptop. I hope your questions were answered, and I hope you found some use in the advice that was given today. Feel free to write your questions in the comments if you happen to be watching this as a replay. Feel free to write your questions in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. My goal in this community, in this industry, is to help all of us get to this level of enjoyment that is truly something that's liberating for our souls, our creative souls, and also something that is incredibly empowering and rewarding when it comes to the connection that we have with our partners. So that's what I want to do. So your questions and your comments help me know that I'm helping out, and they help me direct my energy and my attention when it comes to answering what people actually need. So thank you guys for your participation today. If you are going to be in Cluj, Romania for the 9th Transylvania Salsa Festival this weekend, November 20 something, 23rd, 24th, I look forward to seeing you guys there. I will have 3 workshops there in different elements. The musicality seminar, which I teach in a lot of places. It's worth attending just to understand how the different elements of dance fit together. The movement and musicality, which helps you understand how to create movement that plays with different elements of the song, and the lead and follow fundamentals, which is what our dance is all about. It is about connecting with another person, not about stuffing patterns down somebody's face, but about connecting with somebody else. And the more we can work on our fundamentals, the better that connection can be. If you guys want to know about future Q&As or future online classes and webinars and all that stuff, in the comments, I think in the YouTube, you can go there. There's a small link to an email list. Just sign up there. I don't send a lot of emails. If you know me, you know that I am not one to talk a lot for the sake of speaking a lot, even though obviously I can talk a lot. I like to make sure that what I put out there is of quality, and so I don't want to bombard people with stuff. So leave your email in the link below by clicking the link below, and I will make sure I keep you guys posted on whatever's coming up. And again, finally, thank you to all of you who signed on from all of these places. I kind of wasn't even expecting everyone to show up. I thought it would just be Romania centered, but this is really nice to see all of you guys there, here, rather. And have fun this weekend, and save me a dance. Bye, guys. Thank you again. And of course, this is going to be the funniest part of this video in replay is how do you turn it off? Cannot see the button. Boom. All right, I found it now. Bye, guys.